We are streaming live. We're going to be doing some news in just a second. But first of all, let's take a look at the intro to our show. And gentlemen, we are absolutely
we are live.
We are live, and 3, 2, 1, there we are. What do you know, ladies and gentlemen? Hey, everybody! I'm Andros Sturgeon.
I'm Justin Womack.
And we are the Marketing Geeks. We're here because you know what? Once in a while, we like to do some news, and we haven't done news in a while, have we?
It's been quite a while, actually. Mm-hmm. Maybe a month, 2 months. I don't even know what the timetable is on that.
And I think it's because there's been so much news that hits me on a daily basis that
it's overwhelming.
Well,
and there's an election next week, even. I mean,
what? I voted. I felt like such like I was doing my patriotic duty here in the Netherlands by voting. So.
Did you fly it over or did you mail it?
I mailed it out, and no. I actually, believe it or not, this is the craziest thing. So I got absentee voter. I'm still registered Inventory County, same election as you, and I ended up getting a thing that I had to print out, and then I had to fax it, which I thought was so bizarro. Like you faxing my ballot is. That
sounds accurate for the U.S. government. That's about right.
And
fax machines are still totally relevant.
And I'm just thinking like it is the 21st century, right? It is the 21st century. So why am I faxing a ballot? It's
you would think that we'd be past that by now, but I guess not.
You know what? It's pretty soon it will be dogs and cats living together. You know, we have some news, don't we? Like, what's up with that?
Yeah, why don't you kick it off? You got the stories there.
Yeah, man. I'm going to start off with actually something that when I heard about this, I was blown away, right? Because it kind of brings together all the stuff that I want to do next, and it is this: Spotify. They bought Anchor. And they have a brand new thing that they're going to be doing with combining music with podcasting. So basically, you can be a DJ now. They're integrating their songs into your podcasting, so you could run essentially what would be like a radio show, which is something that
you like talk radio and cut the music periodically and all that.
Right, exactly. And I unfortunately it didn't work for me here yet. They're still rolling it out. Whenever they roll shit out, it's like one of my superpowers. I don't get it. Like whatever it is.
The only problem that I read about this, because you could do this through Anchor right now.
Yeah.
Now that they've done this, but the problem is that you have to listen to these episodes with the music, you have to have a Spotify premium membership. So if somebody's just listening to the Marketing Geeks or a podcast like that doesn't have a Spotify premium membership, I'm not even sure what that would look like, if that episode will be blocked or if they get a different version that just doesn't include the music.
The music, you get the talking and you get a 30-second sound clip.
Oh, you get a soundbite.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, that's it. And overall, I think, I love this idea. So I'm announcing it here first. Nobody has heard this yet. I am going to, as soon as this is available, I'm starting a new podcast. And it's going to be called Papa's French Toast. And it's basically going to be me doing brain dumps and playing music, but I what they actually are going to be, what the show is going to be, is me basically leaving a letter into the future for my son, and with music, and hopefully these can be archived, and it'd just be cool. Like, just, what
that is cool.
Yeah, lessons that I know now, and I'm prefacing it with like I may be wrong about this.
I thought you were going to say you're leaving a letter for yourself in the future, because you've talked a lot about like sending yourself messages in the past and things like that in prior episodes.
Well,
I thought it was going to be some sort of temper, you're going through time or something.
Well, who do you think gave me this idea?
Oh, your future self. Good
point. So yeah, that's kind of geeky for me and kind of cool. And I just, it's such a crazy time to be alive. That's all I can say. More than
It's interesting.
Yeah. What do you got?
Among the reasons that it's interesting are murder hornets, which they're here, people. They're here. The murder hornets have crossed the threshold wherever they came from. I think they were in Japan. I don't know how they got here. They flew over somehow. They're travelers. But the murder hornets were discovered in Washington, the first nest of so-called murder hornets discovered in the U.S. And our scientists were able to kill 85 murder hornets, and they captured 13 alive. And I just think it's funny that they captured them alive. I could just picture like the scientist headquarters where they're like, "Bring me the murder hornets alive." I want them alive so we can suck out the murder hornet venom and create some kind of a vaccine with it.
No, man. You know what they're going to do is they're going to put lasers on the murder hornets, and then
they're probably going to make some bioweapons with it.
Murder hornet. It's like that's the most 2020 thing.
It's such a good name. Like, who came up with that? That's brilliant. Like killer bees. We already have killer bees. It's murder hornets. I guess they could go like genocide wasps. Is that next?
Man, I don't know.
Serial killer wasp?
I still have some open spaces on my 2020 bingo card. So, and just so you know, this particular show is really it's the end of the world as we know it show, this particular episode. So imagine like if you were standing on a big cliff overlooking a city and you knew like the end was just a few days away. You'd kind of be in like, what kind of mood would you be in? Like the mood I'm in, I guess.
Yeah, it's like those movies, like right before the end of the world when everyone's just waiting for the asteroid to hit or whatever.
Yeah. So we just got a comment, our first comment on
No way.
Yeah, on our live stream from LinkedIn. It's from Tony Bosch, and he says, blah, blah.
Love
so
it.
I guess.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Tony. That's, thank you. We love our listeners, man.
I think he's just commenting on the quality of the content.
Yeah.
I think is what he's trying to say.
Thank you so much. Well, we'll try and pick it up a little bit for you, Tony. Wouldn't want you to, hate our show too badly. This is kind of interesting. Apple has decided to finally bundle all of their services together. They have a new thing called Apple One Now. No, it's Apple One, right?
Apple One.
And you get music, TV, arcade, which I guess is like probably a collection of apps, and the family version, $19.99 a month is you get 200 gigabytes of iCloud storage. So
that's not bad. So $20 a month. You're getting Apple News, which is like $10 a month already. You're getting Apple TV subscription. I have no idea what that costs. I've never looked at it. And you're getting 200 gigabytes of Apple iCloud storage. That's worth it.
Yeah,
then because of that and the news, it might be worth it.
Well, then for
being worth it.
$29.99 a month, you also get on top of that, you get 2 terabytes of storage. You get news, and you get something called Fitness Plus. So
and wait, do you get Apple Music with the basic package too?
Yeah, comes with Apple Music.
That's close to Spotify. It's not as good, but it's close.
Yeah, no, but I pay like $14.95 for a family version of Spotify, and for $5 more you get the TV.
I just feel bad because I live in Camarillo, and in Ventura County there's a staffing company out here called Apple One, and they're just going to get absolutely crushed by Apple because they have no chance. You can't even compete. There's not even close. That poor company is just going to be like so confused about what to do.
I think they're just going to get a ton of tech support questions, like from old ladies who are going to be like, "My grandson got me this smart TV, and I'm supposed to get this Apple thing." And
they probably were already getting that, but then Apple actually calling their product Apple One is just going to make it so much worse.
Oh boy. You have some good news. I'm a fan of Audible. I just recently got way into Audible. In fact, if you have one of those Audible premium accounts where you get all the books, a couple of my dad's books are on there. So Theodore Sturgeon, look him up.
So Audible. Okay, so let's just cover that real quick. In case you don't know, Audible just released about a month ago, basically a streaming or an audiobook library that's almost like a Netflix for audiobooks. So if you're paying for like a credit a month, or you have some sort of a recurring membership with Audible, you get access to their entire catalog of audiobooks to listen to, and they got some good titles in there, including Andres' dad's books and just some good business books. It is a bit of a limited selection, but it's still better than not having that at all. And it's pretty cool. I think it's a pretty cool deal, a nice value add. But the big news is that Audible, as of Tuesday, October 27th, rolled out their move into podcasts. So Audible has added 100,000 podcasts onto their platform, including the Marketing Geeks, including our podcast, is now available on Audible as of Tuesday. And Amazon, I don't know how much they invested in this, but they just bought the domains podcast.com and podcasting.com, probably for a pretty penny, but not a pretty penny according to Mr. Jeff Bezos. According to him, that's a drop in the bucket. But I mean, they just bought both those domains. So they're apparently they're getting pretty serious about this whole podcast thing, and not only on Audible, but we're also on Amazon Music now too. So Amazon Music has podcasts and Audible has podcasts now. So we can get us on both platforms, and probably through Siri too, I would hope, because it better come through Siri.
Well, it's
or not Siri, Alexa, whatever.
one of those girls.
Whatever they're called.
Hey, don't objectify women robots. That's women AI. That's not nice. I mean, it's really interesting how podcasting has become so big so shortly and so quickly, rather. And it's a great medium. I mean, it really is. And I'm getting way into it. And so is Iris. Iris has 2 podcasts now. But the battle now for your headspace is getting bigger and bigger, and it's just kind of interesting. I love getting lost in a good book, and I listen to a lot of articles. So a lot of the research that I do, a lot of the things that I do when I really want to find out from a journalistic perspective what's going on, a lot of it has to do with audio, because the way that my head works, when I can hear the writing, I can hear like where the intention is coming from through the use of language. And as I've always said, language is incredible and can shift your perception just by words you use, and that's why they call it spelling.
It does matter who the narrator is, though. It's on audio books anyway. It does matter who the narrator is. If you have a bad narrator, that just sucks.
That does suck. That does suck.
It's sad.
Here is a pretty great story that we've both been following, and that's the one about Quibi.
Yeah, Quibi.
Let's hear about Quibi.
Did I tell you that I did the trial? Did I tell you that?
I think you mentioned it.
Yeah, I did the trial. So I did the 14-day trial of Quibi, and I watched the Anna Kendrick sex robot show.
Uh-huh.
Because there's a whole show about her like becoming best friends with like her boyfriend's sex robot.
Uh-huh.
And it was surprisingly pretty funny. Like, it was pretty good. I mean, the content wasn't bad, but most of the shows on there are pretty terrible. I mean, like, didn't look interesting. They're like 8-minute episodes, which I find annoying, actually. Even if you like the show, like I found that kind of annoying to have like 8-minute episodes personally. And I think the lesson of Quibi is that if you're going to start a company for $2 billion, maybe test it out first.
Well, the thing, do some market research. No, the thing, I mean, okay, first of all, $2 billion. First of all, somebody along the line should have said to Jeffrey Katzenberg, look, content is free, right? And yes, people will pay for good content, but come on. I mean, that was like the dumbest idea ever. That was really the dumbest idea ever. So good
Now,
on
you
you.
were talking about how dumb it was way back before it failed. So
Oh, the second I heard about it, I was like, they told me, oh, they're going to produce these really slick shows for cell phones. And I was like, okay, that could make sense. And you got to pay for it. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
not just pay for it; it's like $15 a month, I think, or 10, at least 10.
Well, the thing that I find most hilarious was Jeffrey Katzenberg's whole reasoning for it not working was he said that because of the pandemic, people are not watching as much content. And it's like,
Or maybe it's because he figured that people were going to watch it at work, and they could I could sneak in an 8-minute episode at work, but now nobody's at work; they're at home, so now they can watch full length content. Maybe that's the problem.
well, maybe when I'm on the toilet for 8 minutes, I don't want to watch.
You're not even done yet.
Yeah, I'm just warming up, man. I'm
Just getting started.
I'm just firing up Reddit. That's at that point. Here's some actual marketing news that you can use, everybody. And I apologize greatly for my behavior. I promise I will be better. I will always be better next time. Google Analytics 4 has just come out. And it's interesting because now they say that it adds AI-powered insights. And it tracks users across devices and provides more granular data controls. And this is really interesting because for me, what it seems to be doing is that it seems to be going more at the jugular of Facebook by being able to target on a granular level. And with Google Analytics, you weren't always able to do that. So
Yeah, they don't really have that great of demographic data from psychographic. They don't have that great of psychographic data. They have good demographic data, and they have obviously all the keywords and all that.
Yeah, and so what it's doing is it's giving you more data controls. It's giving you more access to AI. I haven't used this yet, so I have no idea how it's better or if it's going to be. But I swear to everybody that as soon as I get a handle on how it's awesome or not awesome, I promise.
And how does the AI factor in? What kind of insights is AI generating for you? Because you said AI insights, that's pretty vague.
Yeah, if it becomes self-aware, it's just going to look at me one day and go, "You are not qualified to live." Boom, that's. But I did all those things that you wanted, Mr. AI.
Well, speaking of social media, Twitter got into some trouble over the last couple weeks, blocking a certain newspaper accounts, and ended up having to go. Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter, ended up having to go testify in front of Congress virtually, and he showed up with a nice pandemic beard that was like a foot long. It was down there. It was going pretty good. He's got a nice pandemic beard going.
Oh man, I got to see if I can find this. You
got to show this for anyone that's watching live here, because
if you're watching live, you got to see this if you haven't seen this already. This is Jack Dorsey, right
CEO,
here,
billionaire, worth $9 billion. Jack Dorsey, CEO of Square and Twitter. So he's also the CEO of Square.
There he is.
By the way,
he's got
$9 billion. This is one of the richest people on the planet.
And my friends, with $9 billion, you can definitely become a cult leader. You too can. This is okay. This story is bananas. I mean, this whole thing is bananas, and I'm going to break it down to the very best of how I understand it. Okay, so if I'm sure we'll get some hate around this, but if the tale I'm about to tell you is wrong on any account, please let me know. But you have to let me know with true facts that are vetted. Okay, so here's the situation. The whole computer thing. I'm open to any idea, unless you think that Hillary Clinton needs babies. Then please block me from all social media. Okay, so apparently there's this guy who owns this computer repair shop, and he was a little blind apparently. And at some point, he said that he got a hold of 3 laptops that belonged to Hunter Biden. And the reason that he knew this is because there was a sticker on the laptop that had Hunter Biden's foundation on it. And so after he apparently called Hunter Biden to pick up the laptops, then Hunter Biden never showed up. So he after 90 days, opened the laptops up and found all this information. And the story is that apparently on these hard drives has everything from child porn to Hillary Clinton eating babies.
And to like collusion with like China and Russia.
That was basically the cherry on the top of the cake, was that there were emails that were confiscated that apparently showed that Hunter Biden and Joe Biden were in on a deal in China, and some shady dealings with Burisma as well, right? So in the Ukraine. So what does this guy do when asked later? They said, "Can you verify that was Hunter Biden that gave you those laptops?" And he was like, "Not really." So because I'm blind. So but instead of calling the FBI, who does he call? He calls Rudy Giuliani. So he gives the laptops to Rudy Giuliani, who then puts together a report from a guy named Martin Aspen, right? And from a security firm that doesn't exist. So basically they put together a Steele dossier. And at first, rumor has it, this is unsubstantiated, but rumor has it that Donald Trump got very, very pissed at Bill Barr, the Attorney General, because he would not bring charges based on this evidence, okay? Number one.
That sounds right.
Number two, it turns out that the evidence itself was absolutely suspect, because it was put together by the shady laptop on this, for this story.
Well,
so then,
let me just say one thing, because my understanding, two different things here. My understanding was that he did turn it over to the FBI, and that Giuliani got a copy of the laptop because the guy made a copy before giving it to the FBI.
Yeah.
But nobody can confirm that. But that's what I mean, that's the part I've heard. And then Giuliani had a copy of that, and then everything else that you're saying, I think, checks out.
But why would you include Giuliani on any level? That I mean, honestly,
I think the story was that he like reached out to people and they weren't interested, and then he went to Giuliani. But that doesn't make sense, because nobody who wouldn't be interested in that. Even if you're a journalist and you don't believe it, you'd still want to see it, wouldn't you?
And there's no proof of that anyway. There's zero proof. If you know of any proof, please, I'd love to see it. So then somebody at kind of a right-leaning paper wrote a article about the story of this, and nobody else would publish this story. So they wrote it, and then it's
kind of similar to the Steele dossier, because nobody would publish but BuzzFeed.
Well, what they were trying to do is they were trying to create a Steele dossier sort of situation, and so
exactly.
And so they tried to push this article out and share it on Twitter, and Twitter, thank goodness, thank you, Jack Dorsey, for doing this, knew that the story and the way it was written, it was the person who wrote the story wouldn't even put their name on it. That's how it was just, the whole thing just smelled fraudulent. And so Twitter put tags on there saying that this is a fraudulent article, this is fake news. And so what everybody is pissed off out in the Republican Party, and the reason why they hauled Jack Dorsey up, is because they were complaining that this story was being blocked on Twitter, which proves that there is a left-wing bias on Twitter, and they block anything that has to do with the right. They block the content.
Well, there wasn't a precedent, though, for blocking a newspaper. And yes, I mean, like, I've heard people describe the New York Post, right? I've heard that people describe them as like kind of a tabloid. I've never really read the paper, so I don't know that much about it. But apparently it's 200 years old, according to what I heard. Mm-hmm. And so it's been around for a while. So I think the issue is you blocked a journalist organization, but like you said, it's unverified. I mean, at the very least, everything, and I understand that you would want to be a little cautious, given that in the last election they had the FBI reopen the Hillary Clinton investigation, leaking, and that got leaked out, and that may have had a big impact on things.
Well, it's one thing if there's an actual story, right, that is important, that affects our decision making as a voting public. It's another thing when an opposition party deliberately creates misinformation designed to smear a candidate in a way that is it's unethical. It's just unethical. It's like to make up a story and deliberately spread it about somebody so you can gain the advantage. That's not a country that lives by integrity. And I don't know what to do about that, because if America chooses to say that type of behavior is okay, in the long run, it's like eating the worst fast food imaginable, because it's on sale. It's like, I have no words for it. I really don't.
Yeah. I mean, let's see what happens with all this. I mean, I think more will come out after the election. I don't think anything is going to come of this. What about the Biden's former business partner that like went on? What do you go on, Tucker Carlson? What do you think of that?
Oh, well, okay, so that's
and this somehow ties into marketing. All this, by the way.
Well, it's they're trying to market. They're trying to market a scandal. Is what it is. I mean, but the Tucker Carlson component is also very, very funny, because he was teasing like, I've got the goods. I've got the actual papers that are going to bring this whole thing down, and you're gonna see. And so he was teasing it out, and then on his show, he said that basically he was sent the papers through UPS, and when he got it, the envelope was all that was there, and the papers were gone. So somebody in transit took the papers out, like some spy movie, right? And it's like,
then he got them back though, or something. Or
I'm like, wait a minute, you're telling me you've got?
How do you got them back? I mean, you never had them.
Well, here's the thing: you've got papers, right? You've got papers that can bring down a candidate. And yes, if you've got some proof that could, and you can show it to me and it makes sense, I will. You're right. Okay. However, when you tell me that the only way that you are sending it is through the mail, and you don't have a digital copy of like one of the most important documents of the 21st century, and then of course he now says he has it back, but on his show, I think last night, he said, I think we should back off of Hunter Biden now. So I don't know, dude.
He said he was friends with him back in the day. He's like, I was friends with Hunter Biden. I don't know. I just think like, all right, if like, I don't care if there's a scandal, there's a scandal, but like rumors are one thing and proof is another. Bring the proof. If you got the proof, bring it. Show it. Let's see it.
Yeah, man.
Otherwise, let's not like go crazy on too many rumors. So that's my philosophy on all this stuff.
Yeah, and I will follow any fact, but part of the facts has to do with like, well, who's reporting this? Who owns that paper? Who did this writer also work for in the past? Vetting and doing critical thinking on this stuff, it's not that hard to do. It's just a matter of knowing like, where does this information originate from, and who's spreading it, and what are the benefits that they have from doing that, and who's paying who? If you can answer those questions logically without putting aside any kind of confirmation bias, where you want to believe a narrative that you already believe, you can start to it's easy to figure out what's going on. And then it's also easy to get really depressed. So I don't know, pick your poison, man.
Whether you're dealing with the election or the pandemic or whatnot, just
But do you know
what else you got?
You know who always has something wonderful to think about?
You tell me who.
AI, man. And we love AI. And
we do. We absolutely love AI.
Yeah.
And the reason, let's remind AI that we're on your team. We're on Team AI. So if AI becomes self-aware, we are on your side. Remember that, AI.
That's right. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, that song that you hear, that groovy music, it is time for the Sex Robot Report. This is a story from The Sun. This is the headline of the year. I'm sorry, folks.
No, this is good. I already saw it.
Aliens too busy having sex with robots their whole lives to visit Earth. says AI expert. Let me read that again. Aliens are too busy having sex with robots their whole lives to visit Earth, says AI expert.
Well, this fits because I've read stories about how like when humans have perfected this technology, that's exactly what's going to happen to humans too. So if we're thinking like that these aliens have evolved beyond us, then they've already created this, then it checks out. It's probably true.
Well, look, on that level, I have to say that if we did indeed invent, technology that could take us to the moon and the stars and explore galaxies, visit anything, change molecular structure of matter, free energy. P.S. We have sex robots. I think most people would just opt for the sex robots, right?
I guess so. And maybe that's the secret to solving some of the world's biggest problems, because you just keep everybody in their homes that way. So nobody's driving cars anymore. Nobody's, you're limiting the fossil fuels industry a little bit, not entirely, but a little bit.
Yeah. Look, I think that like one way, for instance, to solve the prison system, right? Make prison just voluntary. It's like, okay, you have to stay in this place, but you get nice
food.
You get nice food, okay food, right? You get a TV, you get all the video games you want, all the cable you want, all the free.
Every now and then you get to be in your own little private area, private room. They call it the hole, but
Yeah, no. It's almost like, think of those Japanese hotels with it's just like a pod. And that's what you could do.
Like a deprivation pod.
Yeah, that's what you could do. You could just stay in there and like maybe grow some weed in the yard and just play games and never leave that place. And I think
people pay money now to go into deprivation pods. It's like a thing now.
Yeah,
people want to be put in there. Come on.
So I think that if we just give people that option to voluntarily just like, it would be a lot less than jail, right? It would be like so much cheaper than jail. And people's needs would be met. There's like basic income. There's like, you can just do and disconnect from society all you want in the privacy of your own filth. And then, these are my ideas, folks. This is why you should
Brilliant.
vote for me.
It's brilliant.
2024.
I don't know where you come up with it, but it's just entirely brilliant.
It all happens here.
I guess like an interesting story. I'll have to confirm this one, but when I was running an ads campaign recently on Facebook, they have a new restriction on the Facebook ads that you can no longer promote digital products or digital subscriptions directly through your Facebook ads. And I'm not 100% sure that this is a new policy, but I've never noticed it before at the very least. So it's kind of interesting. I wanted to bring it up. But there's still going to be workarounds, I think. Or you can't even sell information. You can't sell PDFs anymore. So you can't have an ad that goes directly to like a free, like a $7 report or something like that. But I think the way that people will work around this is they'll give something away for free, and then then they'll have an upsell page that will do that. And I don't know if an upsell page would violate those terms or not, because it's not the initial piece of the sale. Because you could give away free things and free. So it's just kind of interesting. So I'm just kind of, so apparently though, you can't sell SaaS products directly anymore. According to, at least according to the language that I was reading.
You better find
so
that.
You wouldn't be able to promote like, I'll find that here. I'll send you, you just keep talking. I'm going to find it for you right now.
I've got nothing left to say, man. I'm done.
It's something. Talk about something. What else is going on in the world right now?
One thing that I did, this happened a couple of weeks ago, but I did find this very interesting, is that Disney announced that they're positioning their whole business model to streaming, which
that is interesting.
I think that's incredible. I mean, that means that they're even pulling away from the parks. They're pulling away from, a lot of their other activities. But that is, it's the future, definitely. But I'm kind of lamenting and I'm kind of sad that the movie theater is going to be a thing of the past. It's not coming back. I think movie theaters are going to be like vinyl. They'll be like one that's playing, certain movies in rotation. And the only thing I could think that would revive them is if Disney or Amazon bought a chain and then they played their movies in the theater. And
so from a business standpoint, I think what Disney's doing is brilliant, because I think the parks are cash bleed. And the pandemic has exposed just how much of a cash bleed are. Yes, they can survive and profit when you're bringing in, the amount of people that they're bringing in usually on a normal basis. But as soon as something shuts down, like they're bleeding cash, really, really bad. And they have a lot of employees that they've had to, and they've kept them on for, a couple months, and now they've let them go, especially in California, because apparently Disney World is open, but Disneyland is closed. Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with that at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they they just laid off like 28,000 people, something crazy.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. It was around there. And it was right after Disneyland confirmed that they would not be reopening before the end of the year, I believe.
Yeah. Anyway, it's there's one more component, and this is personal to all of this, which is, winter is coming, and winter is always a little depressing, and Corona is obviously surging. We have an uncertain time ahead of us, and we're all going to be going into hibernation here pretty soon. So I just want to encourage everybody to reach out to me, reach out to friends, try and have as much contact as you can, have dinner at friends' houses, learn how to cook, invite people over to your house. We, the thing that we need more than ever is we need to be with each other. So this is a personal plea where I'm just hoping that if you can hear my voice, please reach out to people, even if you haven't talked to them in a while. If you feel that there's some uncomfortable thing between you and a good friend, just heal that. We have to come together right now more than ever, and I'm confident we can, even if it gets hard. But please reach out to me, to reach out to your friends. I'm going to reach out to people too. So. That's my soapbox. That's
kind of a nice touching note. Now I'm going to come back to Facebook though. Anyway, I'm not going to end the show on that.
You bastard.
So I found it. I found the policy. So it said that listings, so subscriptions of digital products are prohibited. Listings may not promote the buying or selling of downloadable digital content, digital subscriptions, and digital accounts. That's the language in that policy. So I'll have to dig a little deeper on that, and maybe we'll explore that deeper in a future episode. But that's something to look at, and I don't remember ever seeing that before.
Do digital curriculums count? That's what I'd want to know. Can you sell like a class?
Well, I guess if it's a one-off, you can't sell a subscription, but it's a digital product though. I don't know. I'll have to look more into it. It's a little bit ambiguous, and that covers like a huge industry. So I'm very curious if that's going to stick or not, or what's going on with it.
Well, I trust you will look into it, and we will address it on a future show.
And the stock market crashed today a bit.
Man, zombies are next. I don't know. Alien invasion. Who the hell knows, man? It's 2020's been a long decade. That's all I can say.
It has been a long decade.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for attending our very special live episode of Marketing Geeks.
Especially for those of you that made it through 5 minutes or more. Yeah. You are especially thanked.
We definitely love you. Have a good weekend, everybody. Take care.
Good night and good luck.